Welcome to our data-driven helmet road test of the AGV AX9, where we've given the helmet to our test rider and sent them out with our measuring equipment, so stick around as we bring back the data. Sebastian from Champion Helmets here, and though AGV are mainly known for their sports helmets, today we'll be checking how they do in the adventure segment by taking the AGV AX9 out on our data-driven helmet road test. Adventure helmets often must straddle a fine line, offering features for both off-road riders and tourers, often winding up on various ends of that spectrum. But the AX9 already seems to be coming with a strong set of specs with the option of a carbon fiber shell, as well as multiple shell sizes. And it does tick that box for a removable peak. But while these features sound impressive on paper, we still wanted to take the helmet out on the road to see whether it can live up to its descriptors. So with a recommended retail price of about 460 euros or $560 for the fiberglass composite version and 600 euros for the full carbon, the helmet is definitely premium. This means that it will be competing with the Shoei Hornet ADV, Climb Cryos Pro, Arai Tour X4, Schubert E1, and the Icon Variant Pro. Before we head to our data, don't forget to subscribe and check out the rest of our YouTube channel to keep up to date on our latest data-driven helmet road tests. We're the first to do this type of testing where we actually take the helmet out on the road, measure its performance for noise, ventilation, and more, and bring you the facts. Just a few quick specs on the AX9 before we get to the road. The helmet's outer shell is composed of a fiberglass aramid and carbon composite in 3 outer shell sizes for light weight and strength. 3 shell sizes are good, since that is about the average for most premium manufacturers, and it ensures that you get a more proportional fit. Our carbon fiber version of the helmet is also available. Either way though, the AX9 does come in noticeably light on our scale at about 1,480 grams or 3 pounds and 4 ounces with the peak mounted, and it comes in at about 50 grams lighter for the carbon fiber version. For ventilation, the AGV helmet comes with a total of 3 air inlets up front. First, you have a large chin inlet that gives you numerous ventilation options. You can open it or close it with a switch on the outside, which is quite standard, but what is interesting is that you can also deflect the airflow thanks to a slide on the inside of the chin bar as well. Or for maximum airflow, you can just remove the entire chin vent, outer and inner covers completely. You then get a set of 2 more adjustable air inlets in the forehead. Lastly, to let hot air out, you've got 2 more small, always open air outlets out the back. Though they are on the small side, we'll still see how the helmet does for ventilation when we take it out on the road. The visor of the AX9 is coming pin lock prepared with the insert in the box. It has an anti-scratch treatment, and you can wear goggles without having to remove the face shield. Lastly, the interior is composed of a mix of materials with Shalimar in the crown, Ritmo in the cheek pads, and Nabuk in the neck roll. This means that the liner is removable, washable, and antibacterial. The helmet does fit glasses well and is prepared for the AGV Ark communication system. It also uses a double D-ring chin strap, and lastly, the helmet comes with an intermediate oval head fit. Now, for the big question, whose answer we've all been waiting for, how does the AGV AX9 do out on the road when actually measured? Don't worry, we're coming up with the answer right now. As we head into our road test, just a quick reminder for how we set up our measuring equipment. On the left, on the white monitor, we have the helmet's internal temperature in degrees Celsius from a thermometer placed between the helmet's liner and the EPS. In the middle, we have our decimal meter showing the helmet's internal noise level from a microphone placed near our rider's ear. Lastly, on the right, we have a telephone showing the day's average airspeed on the helmet from a bike-mounted anemometer. On the dash in the middle, we also have the day's exterior temperature and our rider's speed, and we performed our test on long stretches of highway. When we took out the AGV AX9, we did have cooler temperatures, though we found that the day's average airspeed showed a fairly consistent reading, which was excellent for testing. Once we reached our test speed of 130 km per hour, we got an airspeed reading of 130 km per hour on our anemometer, which fluctuated a little bit as we rode, but remained close to this value. The exterior temperature for the day was a nippy 10 degrees Celsius or 50 Fahrenheit, and over the course of our test, our sensor was showing an unfortunate result of about 15 degrees Celsius or 61 Fahrenheit, which means we're looking at a 5 to 6 degree difference, which is not great for an adventure helmet. Only one helmet that we've road tested actually showed a weaker result, and that was the Shoei Hornet ADV with its 6 degree difference. However, considering the performance of the Arai Tour X4 with a 1 degree difference, the Schubert E1 with none, the Climb Cryos Pro with none, and the Icon Variant Pro with no difference, we were hoping for a much better result. So while the chin ventilation offers a great deal of options regarding airflow, the AX9 suffers from the same issues as the Hornet ADV, with small vents in the forehead, of which there are too few, and not enough grooves in the EPS. For noise, we found the AGV helmet showed a result of 104 decibels, which was also not great. Though adventure helmets do often straddle that line between touring, where noise isolation is crucial, and off-roading, where other factors are more important, we were hoping for a better result here as well. Compared to the helmet's competition, we found that the showy Hornet ADV did make up for its poor ventilation with a decent noise isolation result at about 102 decibels, while the Ark X4 also gave us a result of 102. Though we did get a loud result from the AX9, and the Icon variant Pro did still come out louder with 105 decibels, it is possible to get a quiet result from an adventure helmet. Case in point, we have the Schubert E1, which showed 100 decibels on our meter, and the Climb Cryos Pro, which showed 98 on our sensors. So while the AX9 was not the loudest helmet that we've tested so far, 104 decibels was also not a result we were particularly pleased to see. When our rider took the helmet out on the road, they were also generally unimpressed, which was backed up by the data we collected. During our test, our rider found the helmet was hot as a result of poor ventilation, and this subsequently caused issues with fogging. Though the visor aperture was wide, our rider found their field of view was not as great as the AX9's competitors, in particular the Ark X4, due to the outer ridge, which also presented issues during our test. And though they found the Peak did perform well at speed, they did find the helmet's liner was uncomfortable, and the overall riding experience was noisy. Lastly, we now come to the AGV AX9's Champion Helmets ranking. For material, since the helmet is composed of a fiberglass composite in 3 outer shell sizes, the AX9 earns 4 stars. For a weight of about 1,480 grams, the AX9 earns another 4 stars. For the visor, the mechanism was weak and not user-friendly since it required a screwdriver to replace, but because it does come with the pinlock insert in the box, the helmet earns 3 stars. For noise, with a showing of 104 decibels on our meter, the AX9 dips to 2 stars, while the poor ventilation result of a 5-degree difference means that the AX9 slips even further to 1 star. Lastly, for comfort, the interior liner was not as comfortable as hoped, earning it 2 stars. In sum, this brings the AGV AX9 to a total of 2.5 stars at 29 euros per star. This means that the helmet did not rank very well, and, looking at the euro per star result, is not the best choice in terms of value for money. To put the score in perspective, the showy Hornet ADV earned 3 stars at 26.5 euros per star, the Climb Cryos Pro earned 4 stars at 27 euros per star, the Icon variant Pro earned 3 stars at 20 euros per star, while the Schubert E1 and Ark X4 each earned 3.5 stars at 31 and 30 euros per star respectively. And though the Schubert and Ark do show higher overall euro per star rankings, the fact that they earned a full star better than the AX9 shows that they do not have such an outsized value and quality offering as the AGV helmet. So considering the AX9 once more, the level of value for money we're seeing is not particularly impressive, especially considering the 2.5 star result. If you're still looking to learn more about the AGV AX9, then make sure to head to championhelmets.com, where we have our lowest price guarantee and plenty of bundle deals including discounted visors, comm systems, and more. Though AGV produced fantastic helmets overall, the AX9 proved to be a letdown when tested on the road. Though the chin ventilation options and lightweight were pluses, we found there were a lot more cons in performance, meaning we'll be sticking with AGV's other helmets for now. So if you liked the video, then make sure to subscribe to keep up to date on our latest data-driven helmet road tests, where we actually bring you the facts, and let us know your thoughts in the comments down below. I'm Sebastian from Champion Helmets, and thanks for watching.